We're in the studio with Walter Trout. We just received the news that Otis Rush passed away. We're all deeply saddened, and we're here with Walter, and he'd like to share some memories with us.
Well, a lot of blues musicians got to know Otis very well. He cast quite a path through the blues, but my own experience was that in 1986, I was playing with John Mayall, and in the summer we did a tour of JVC jazz festivals in France and Germany and Holland, and it was a blues festival tour. And I was on a tour bus with Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, Coco Taylor, Luther Allison, Robert Cray, Dr. John Mayall, and Otis Rush, and all the musicians too from all those bands. And we were all packed onto a bus, and we traveled around Europe for a month. And I got to spend a lot of time with Otis. We became friends. We bonded over our love of guitar music and love of blues. And he was also a great friend of Mr. Mayall, and we'd have dinners together, and we'd laugh, and we just had a great time. And I remember we played the Montreux Jazz Fest in Switzerland, and we were invited to lunch at Claude Nobbs's house. Claude was the man who put on the Montreux Jazz Fest. He's in Smoke on the Water. Funky Claude. Well, Claude, that Montreux is Claude's gig, and he had a villa up at the top of the Alps, and Otis was scared of heights. And we rode up there. I rode in the car with him. He was freaking out all the way up. We got up to the house, and he walked up to Claude Nobbs and said, "All I know is if I lived here, I'd never come home." And
Wow.
But then we proceeded to have this lunch, and we all sat at a table, and Dr. John played piano and sang while we were eating. And some years later, after getting to know Otis and spending that time with him, I was invited to play on a Christmas record and to do a song with Kim Wilson, the great harmonica player. And we were going to record Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. So I drove up to LA to do my guitar track, and I walked into this tiny little studio, and sitting in the control room where I was going to play was Otis Rush. And I had to sit there with him 2 feet away from me, this guitar master who invented so much of what I attempt to do with my life and my music, sitting there observing me trying to play Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And I was shaking, and I was nervous, and I just did it as quickly as I could, and I said bye, and I left, because it was nerve-wracking watching that master watch me try to play a Christmas carol. That track is out. It's on a CD called Blue Xmas, and it's Kim Wilson and myself doing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And if you listen to my guitar track, have pity on me. Otis Rush was sitting there watching me. He was an amazing man, an amazing musician, and what a great loss to the world of the blues.
Thanks, Walter.
You got it.